And for those that are looking to get into the multifamily space, we're kind of talking about this earlier, is, how do you kind of get into this? And I think part of this is, make sure you understand this business because, for those that are just in the residential space right now, you may have learned how to invest in single family properties. Okay. So your education level is here, and you can do this real estate at a residential level. But when you are looking at buying like a multifamily, you are not dealing with average mom and pop owner. You are dealing with another, hopefully maybe a more sophisticated investor. And if you're not talking the lingo or the language and you are trying to buy multifamily with this type of knowledge, you're going to get eaten alive. Right. Okay. So you need to get yourself, I don't care if it's YouTube videos or you're talking with Erwin or what, understand the game, no different than what you learned in the residential side. So you can at least talk at that same level and you can understand this, or else you're buying based on emotion versus kind of using your noggin to understand how valuation is actually being calculated, and does this property fit what your investment goals are or not. So
it's very different. For example, I was talking to an investor earlier this morning, and he kept on referring to his house as being lot value, because that's where he lives. Houses aren't worth much. People only pay based on the lot.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But that's only true in houses, right? Where in certain cases it can be where a lot of the value is. It's not the same at all with an apartment building.
Totally, 100%. It's not at all. Like I said, you're buying a business at the end of the day. You can have two 10-unit buildings side by side. Values could be completely different, even though they're built by the same builder, same size, same everything. But one's just managed better than the other. You would get two different variations of the price for sure. So
absolutely. Okay. Is there phase 3? Do we need to cover phase 3?
Oh, let's see. Okay, so we got phase 2, phase 3. So so first of all, we've got acquiring
for phase 2.
Yeah, so there's no phase 2. So I think the big part is you go through the information of phase 1 would be really just getting the offer accepted, reviewing the your pro forma, making sure it's accurate. Then you kind of go to the phase 2 study, phase 2 part, which is due diligence, checking your number. So, and then I would actually say phase 3 is actually the aspect of environmental engineering reports, all those things, right? Once you've checked off all of those boxes, and again, I think the important part is double check, triple check, quadruple check, talk to other people, talk to other multifamily investors, get a second set of eyes, share with, and I think the biggest one is when you're looking at a multifamily, what's the strategy? Okay, what are you doing this for? Okay, what's the plan for this? It's just like a business, okay? Am I just buying it and then I'm going to just rent it? Or is there opportunity to increase valuation? And so when I say that, that means you're trying to increase the net operating income. And so for every dollar of increased net operating income, you increase the value of the building between $15 to $20, depending on the area. And so just so for people that are listening, net operating income is your gross income. Okay, so it's all your income. It would be laundry income, rental income, whatever that is, minus all your expenses, not including your mortgage. So income minus your expenses. Okay.
And that's operating business.
Yes.
Anything that costs you to operate business before debt.
Totally. You got it. And then so with that being said, you're trying to increase that dollar per dollar. You're trying to find opportunities to raise that by increasing your net operating income. You increase your property value. Okay. Your business value. And so that's the game. That's the goal. And so is there opportunity? Is there things you can be more efficient in? Is there expenses you can reduce? Maybe you can get the tenants to pay the utility bills, which is one huge aspect you can do. Is there ways you can raise the rents? So what's your plan? Are you planning on renovating suite by suite? What can you get increased rent for? So I think before you start kind of getting into multifamily is understand you are buying a business, but what are you trying to do? Like, how are you going to increase the value? It isn't like residential where, you're based on the market. There's some factors to this, but there's lots of ways you can create forced appreciation in multifamily properties. So, yeah.
I'd add to one of the phases, I would reference check the seller as well.
Oh, gosh, yeah, for sure.
I want some information about them.
100%, for sure.
Yeah, I always like knowing who I'm dealing with. At a minimum, I check their LinkedIn. At a minimum.
At the minimum, yeah, like at the minimum. Like I think in this day and age with social media, I think we were talking about it before, there's so easy to kind of go on social media and just kind of get a sense of the individuals that you're dealing with for sure. Yeah, the more information you get, the better it is for you, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he had conditionally sold an Aplex. And just in passing, I said, "Oh, who's buying it?" He goes, "Oh, this person." I'm like, okay. open my Facebook, search his name, find him. We're
Yeah.
already friends. I just like 3 swipes, scroll down, like, oh, I know who his coaches are.
Yeah.
So then I have a good idea who his friends are.
Mm-hmm.
I just give him the heads up. Like a lot of these folks in this community are not doing well.
Yeah.
So then once you have that information, then, you know, in your negotiations, and so he did it. I think I influenced his negotiations. Like for example, like I believe he needed an extension.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, you know, I'm pretty sure he asked for more money,
Mm-hmm.
non-refundable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see if this guy's for real. Right?
Yeah.
Don't waste someone's time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out. It worked out. I followed up. He worked out. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
But again, he appreciated the heads up because like, I can't, like, you know, we're friends. That guy and him and I were friends on Facebook. Like, so all I did is type in the guy's name. It's not that hard.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think you'll find the same people over and over again, because when you work with when somebody's investing in multifamily, or you see a property that's for sale, like say for example, as one of my properties, I don't own just one property. I own lots of properties, and you'll see the same thing, same trend kind of happening with others. And so don't ever be afraid to ask the question: are you selling any other properties? And if it's a good if the process of the transaction went well, yeah, maybe we can explore maybe selling more or buying more. I try to do that to my best of my ability, because most of these people are multifamily owners. And the same thing is with the reputation. It's we talk about real estate investing as a small community, and it's true. The guys in the multifamily space is even smaller, like really, really, really tight, really, really small. The amount of realtors out there and property managers that manage this space, the investors that are in this space, it's not a very big industry, right? So you don't want to ruin your reputation by any means. And
especially in a small city like Edmonton or Calgary compared to like in Toronto.
100%.
Versus to GTA. Like, what is the population of Calgary?
I couldn't even tell you, to be honest with you.
Later.
Yeah,
I don't think it's massive though.
I'll have to Google that one. Wikipedia.
They have a hockey team. They must be decent size.
Yeah, well, they're doing better than Vancouver. Sorry, guys, Vancouver.
Is there phase 4?
No, that's pretty much it. So at the end of the day, once you've kind of gone through the process of due diligence, you've double checked all your numbers and reviewed it, you kind of sign off, no different than what you do in the single family space. And, then you've got, normally it's about 30 days before you actually come to completion and close.
That quickly, eh?
Yeah, it's usually
30 days to close.
Usually it's around 30 days to close, right? So you've gone through the process of due diligence. That process can take between 45 to 60 days as an average rule of thumb, depending on the financing. If you're getting CMHC, it's way longer. And then after those 45 to 60 days, then tackle another 30 days to actually close. There might be preparation of documentation. Maybe you're setting up a corp. If you're bringing in partners, adds more complexity to it. So you'll need to kind of budget for those things, but it does take about 30 days usually on a general rule. And I think for those that are getting in the space, the best advice I can give you is, it sounds like the purchase process is long compared to residential. Like, residential, you can probably get most of the stuff done in about a month. And you can do it even faster than that. But in multifamily, time goes by very, very quick. To do an environmental study takes about 3 weeks. To do an report. So you got a lot of time. You don't have a lot of time. So the more you integrate your team at the very beginning, almost at the time of offer acceptance, then you've got everybody aligned to making sure it hits your timelines.